Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I am Alan, again, here with Spencer and Drew. We've got a few things we want to try and get through today. Maybe talk about Halo for PC a little bit today, as all three of us just downloaded and played that some tonight. Maybe get some initial impressions and how bad we are at PC Halo.
Dude, it's just not the same.
Yeah, no, it's not. But two of the three of us have new monitors. Might be the same monitor. One of us can't quite play them yet, but maybe we can go over some monitor specs compared to
mine is sitting in a box next to me as I speak. It's the Christmas present I can't unwrap yet.
While I continue to talk about the monitor and how great it is, and Spencer can't quite play it yet. But I think to start off, we're going to hit the new patch that came out again for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We've talked about Modern Warfare the first couple episodes. A lot, like we said before, a lot of good things, decent amount of bad. Some of the patch was supposed to be, or the update, whatever you want to call it, was supposed to be the largest free content drop in all of Call of Duty history. It was very heavily hyped. You got 3 new maps coming from Call of Duty 4, which were 3 of the most beloved maps in the history of the franchise. All the 2 new weapons, the battle pass, all sorts of goodies coming. And probably some bug fixes and stuff that really made no difference at all. We've all three of us have spent a decent amount of time at least playing probably the new maps and looking at the battle pass and all the stuff they have to offer, which most of it you have to pay for. Guys, yeah. Well, one of the problems being that they only dropped one of the maps and they gave you a battle pass that now you actually have to earn double XP to rank up because people were complaining about. Apparently, they were complaining about how slow you rank up, which now no one's complaining about, doing the opposite. So, anyways, guys, initial impressions on the patch. What do you think? How do you feel about it?
Oh man, once again, I'm gonna give them credit in terms of how quick they are updating, how much. I think the fact that they're making this content drop free and making it that way throughout the entire season is something that is really a good step in the right direction. Now, whether or not it's been executed perfectly, no, but they're trying, and I'll give them credit for that. Crash, while a great map in the past, I don't think addresses any of the issues that are in the game that we've talked about before. If anything, I think it actually just kind of plays into the same playstyle that the game already has had with the current map set. Shipment is obviously hasn't came out yet. Vacant hasn't came out yet. But while I love these maps in the past, I don't really think they're going to bring anything different to the game in terms of the play style with it. I could be wrong. One of the things that we've kind of talked about a little bit is that Crash, for example, they opened up different parts of the map already, which are lending to more head glitches, different lines of sights as well, which is once again going back to that slower play style. But aside from the maps, which we'll continue to see as more of these come out and see how they actually get to play, I think it was cool that they released the new gun, all right, which is like a different variation of the old TAR. Basically, I've only played with it a little bit, but it's cool that they're adding that in there. The changes that some of us I think were hoping to make, at least for me, in terms of dead silence and stuff like that, nothing happened. Whether or not that continues to not happen, I don't know, but we'll touch on some more details in a bit, but as of right now, while excited for everything they've done, I'm still a little hesitant and kind of find myself having less and less of a drive to play the game. I don't know. Drew, where are you at with things?
Nah, I think I'm in the same boat, honestly. I think if they just would have done Crash the way it was in, the previous Modern Warfares and didn't open it up like they did, it wouldn't have broken it again. I think it's they have good hindsights of things, but they poorly execute it. I couldn't tell you how many kill cams I have of some dude camped behind that freaking wall that they opened up.
Yeah.
I think the two of y'all can agree with me on that one.
Well, that's the thing, man. The things they're adding, I think the game, if this game shines anywhere, I think it. Personally, I think this game actually plays fairly well for search, and Crash, I think, great search map. I think it's weird that they changed the bomb site. I don't know if y'all have played search on Crash before in the new game, but they actually moved the bomb site back inside of the back buildings in between the two of them instead of the open field, which I think is a random and unnecessary change because, again, it just makes it a little more campy instead of more open. And I still think Search is good on that map. But Search is already decent in this game. That's not where the issues are. The issues are the everyday player coming to play TDM for a couple hours at night or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and like, you know, with what Drew's saying about the you know, the wall that they added to Crash, which is the main problem I have with that map. The problem with Crash to me is like the way that map is set up, with the highest point in the map being a power position essentially, where, you know, you can throw claymores up down the stairs, and I mean, there's no way I mean, you could try and get a grenade up there, but good luck. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to evade, or you run perks, you know, EOD or something, you're not going to die. But like stuff like that, the wall that they added, it's like Crash was already kind of a campy map even in Call of Duty 4. Yeah. Like that was not an aggressively played map. I mean, obviously the polar opposite being like something like Shipment where you're in a super close quarters, but Crash was a slower map anyway, and you added stuff to make it even slower. I'm all jokes aside, I played 3 games on the Crash 24/7 playlist and backed out and was like, well, I'm kind of done with that already. I mean, and as we've all noticed as well, because the community wanted it back so much, they already replaced the Crash 24/7 playlist with Shoot House 24/7 again, because that seems to be the only map that, you know, the players looking for the experience that we all seem to be wanting and looking for. That's the map that gets you closest to it, it seems like, with your traditional 3 lanes and everyone playing somewhat aggressive, especially in objective games, because you can actually, I mean, you're forced to run around and the map's small and it's 3 lanes. So yeah, all in all, I mean, pretty concerned. It does play really well for Search. I 100% agree with that. But again, coming back to it because it's forcing you to play slow, and Search is a slow game type anyway. I don't think you notice the glaring flaws in the game in Search as much as you do in faster paced game types. So
yeah, I mean, it's a completely different thing. I mean, I know you guys are on a pretty similar stance with this, but like, I don't want to get on and play Search every single time. I enjoy the game mode, but sometimes you just want to sit down and play some chaotic, old school, fast paced COD. And like you said, Shoot House is the only thing that really brings that right now. And I think it's kind of crazy that they add a new map. It gets its own playlist for a day and a half and then gets kicked for something. I mean, it's a sign. Tell you something. Yeah,
here's your sign. Here's your sign.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, I can't remember ever back in the day being like, oh yeah, I just want to go play Search. And this is literally the only game I've ever been like that and actually enjoyed it and play and oh, these maps are good for Search because you have to play them so damn slow.
We've all said that at some point or another, where we've been getting frustrated during the middle, like while we've been playing at night, and be like, man, I don't know, I'm thinking about just backing out and playing Search. I think we've all said that at some point. And like, normally I like playing Search, but it is certainly not my preferred game type by any means.
I mean, heck, it's like me trying to talk you into playing Ground War. I freaking loved Ground War. Ground War was so fun to me, but like, you know, it doesn't play. It does not match. Well, I know.
Like, man.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing, but at the same time, I mean, like, at least I'm not gonna lie, I'm not yelling and bitching and complaining about somebody camping and killing me. If I get killed, it's like, oh well, on to the next one.
Well, and the thing about that is, so the reason I can appreciate that though is that, you know, the Ground War, they made it good for what it is. I just don't like that game mode. So, for what that game mode is, they did a really good job. I think I think that's their best game mode in the game. But you know, I mean, me and you played a few, like for a couple hours doing that, Drew, and like, it's fun to mindlessly run around and try and hit sniper shots while we're sitting up on top of a mountain and not care about the objective. Like, that is fun, but I can't do that for 6 hours, you know? So, yeah. I don't know. It's just,
I think Ground War is the perfect game if you're trying to grind out camos and stuff.
I was about to say, actually, I was going to say the exact same thing. I think it's a really good thing to mindlessly get a bunch of kills and not kind of worry about stuff, but like Alan said, I'm kind of on this page, and I can't just, I don't get to play enough anymore to sit there and grind camos for 5 hours, 6 hours a night.
But then like kind of on the flip side of that too, though, you can make the argument that a good maps to grind camo would be smaller ones as well.
Shoot House.
So like, yeah, like Shoot House, so you can, you know, like mounting kills. You can just sit there and hold sight lines, which is counterintuitive to what I'm trying to say I want the game to play like, but
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, dude, like that when I was trying to get all the mounting kills with the M4.
Adapt and overcome.
Dude, do you remember that, Drew? I needed like 35 kills of mounting kills, and I was like, I freaked out when I thought I got it. I was like, yes, like last one, and then I go in there to get my gold camo, and it told me I needed another one. I was like,
come on, whole game to do this.
Dude, it was terrible. It took me
Out
like
the wall.
3 hours.
Let's go. Let's get this over with.
Well, it was the
I'm
only
gonna be-
camo I had left, so I just felt like I had to just do it.
I'm gonna be really interested to see when Shipment comes out, because Shipment, while it's a fun map, it's there's no tactics behind Shipment. It's just a mess. You play it and you get a bunch of kills.
Yep.
So while I think will replace Shoot House in the sense of being able to go out there and like grind and have a good time and stuff, there's not really Shipment's another map that I can't sit there and play for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. All right, I think it's a great map for like your first few games of the night to really get your shot warmed up and to get a bunch of kills and stuff like that. But I still don't think, other than Shoot House and maybe Gun Runner on a slightly bigger scale, there's not a more old school Call of Duty map yet that actually flows with the current pace of play of this game. Like Crash, yes, obviously it's an old school map, and Vacant will be too, but neither of them. I mean, with Vacant you have these dark inside buildings that have a bunch of literally like computer stalls that you can hide between. You have bathrooms with stalls you can stand in. You have boxes, like
it's gonna be a camp fest.
No, in Vacant, once again, it's going to be a great search map, but I don't think it's going to lend itself to a faster pace of play. I just don't.
I don't either. I mean, you think about, well, you just mentioned the inside piece of it, but even the outside piece of it, one thing that people did in Call of Duty 4 was with those containers in the back and the outside, people would camp behind those and just have the long sight lines with like an M16 or a sniper.
Just hold the alley.
Yeah, you hold the alley, you hold one window or something that every time someone peeks in, they die. So I mean, and with the mounting mechanic, how little recoil the guns have now. I mean, it's just you're just going to be sitting there with people on M4s mounting around shipping containers and on Vacant. Sorry, not on Shipment, but so all that being said, though, I'm pretty cynical on the game. You guys are pretty slightly down on it too. Like, what do you do now when you log in to like have a good time playing that game, or do you not have a good time anymore playing the game at all?
Spend my time looking through the battle pass options.
Updating my credit card information.
Hoping my PayPal account doesn't reject me because I want to buy all the cool skins.
Did you see that Signy watch you could buy? Did you get that gold KCO?
Wait, you don't have the diamond Rolex yet?
No, honestly, I mean, I will say they did kill it with the content. The way they dropped it is kind of ridiculous. But no, I mean, like I said, the way I enjoy it's freaking either playing Ground War or like I don't even know. I didn't even like playing Domination when we were playing earlier last time. Like I don't know, man. It's almost like I look forward to like y'all hating it enough to where you'll just be like, all right, fine, I'll play Ground War because otherwise I won't want to play it.
You literally did that to me the other night. We played one game and I did really bad, and you were like, "Oh no, I hope you're not getting frustrated. We should try and switch to Ground War."
Such a bad time, right?
Well, I got up and left and came back, and I was like, "So Ground War?" And he's like, "All right, fine."
Yep.
And that's when we ended up playing for like 3 hours. But other than that, like I don't know, man. It's just I was so pumped for this game, and they just freaking ruined it for me, and I hate that. That's why I'm so pumped Halo's out now.
One thing I did want to bring up before I forgot about it too, that you mentioned earlier, Spence. The thing you said about where Infinity Ward was already sending out like sorry, you talk about it. Sorry,
this is nuts. This is okay. So Infinity Ward, I read people trying to figure out why they are already not playing the game.
Hey, Spence, sorry, will you repeat that? You cut out for the first piece of that.
Yeah, my bad. Infinity Ward is sending surveys already to certain players trying to figure out why they are not playing already.
6
weeks. Their game is already dying so much to the point where they're actively seeking out information in terms of why people stop playing the game.
Do you mean like down to streamers and like old pros and stuff, or just like random people
across the board?
Like, oh,
yeah.
Anonymous survey for people who haven't turned their Xbox onto this game in a week. I don't know.
Wow.
It's terrible, dude.
That's again, here's your sign.
Well, that's joke, and that's what I was when you said that, Spence, I mentioned to you earlier was that, it's there's a difference in them having their own opinion that, hey, this is the way the game is best played, or this is the way we think the game is best. Where like that's fine if you hold that opinion, but at the end of the day, like Infinity Ward as a game developer, like you're not going to make this game unless you're trying to make money. It's a business at the end of the day. And the way a successful business runs is you adapt and you change to what your customers are telling you that they want. And when your customers are telling you that they want something and you're trying to tell them that, no, you don't want that, this is better. I mean, that's an unsuccessful business model. If for nothing else, looking past the financial aspect of it, they should be changing this so that they retain those players and keep making money off of it, because this game is going to be dead in a month.
Well, and the thing is, going back to the business model idea, sure, you've had certain businesses in the past in whatever type of industry that you're looking at that have stuck with their model, and eventually things end up changing in the surrounding area and it ends up working. The issue with COD is that it's a year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to be patient and see if things catch on and to do these different things. You have a year and your game's dead.
And they don't make the next one.
No, that's what. And so this idea of trying to force people and get them to slowly adapt to your model with Call of Duty doesn't work.
No.
Until Call of Duty or Activision or Infinity Ward changes something in the sense of prolonging developers' span or the game's lifespan before the next one comes out, you don't have time to sit here and hope people catch on, right? Because as we're already seeing, it's 6 weeks down the road and people are not playing anymore.
I mean, you look at the attention span and like the demographic of like the younger generation nowadays, and like people quit on stuff.
PUBG.
I'm sorry, you don't really have like extra opportunities to try and rein back in your audience. Like there are people who are permanently out on the game. If they were to make all the changes we talked about tomorrow, they've already lost a massive chunk of people that don't care and they're not coming back.
Some people have already returned this.
Yeah, they're already done. They're checked out and they don't care anymore. And so, I mean, you don't even really have that year to, you don't have a year to fix it like you were saying. You don't even have 6 months to fix it. You need the first month of your game to be a raging success, and then still try and keep everyone as happy as you can for the next few months, because you're not making much money the second half of the game's life cycle at all. No. People have already bought it. Half the people are gone, and the people that are there,
microtransactions are going to go way down too.
Exactly, they're not going to be spending as much money because they're getting bored of it. The hype's going down. They don't care about DLCs as much anymore because they're on their way out. So I mean, this is the biggest window they're ever going to make money on the game, and they are throwing it away. So I don't know. I honestly think they're screwed, but that's just my opinion. I think they've already screwed it up too badly past the point of saving it, even if they make the changes.
Yeah, I mean, even as much as like I've been hating, and some of us have also been hating on Black Ops 3 and the jump packs, right? Dude, they killed it. They hate, like, everybody liked that game.
In hindsight, it was a great game.
Well, I know, but it's not even that. The microtransactions, that's where they make all their big money. It's like, all right, $50 or whatever, per game. That's not where they make all the money with the player base they retain by microtransactions inside the game. It's like, how many times, aka me, did I spend money on freaking getting gun variants in Black Ops 3 because it was like, this is the one you need to get?
A handful.
Way too much. Exactly.
I was just saying, I don't think you need to disclose.
Yeah. Don't. As your attorney, don't disclose that information.
but in hindsight, it's like this is piggybacking off of everything. It's like, yeah, okay, we might bitch about the game, but at least it was a good freaking game. Like there was a little mechanic we didn't like, jump pack and being able to wall run. But I still sat there and like went and grinded weapon variants, and we played the heck out of that game. But it's like,
that's one thing I do give credit for this new drop is the fact that all of the stuff is cosmetic based and not anything is like a gun variant that's actually performance based or anything. I do appreciate that.
Which game was it that had the BAL and the Speakeasy? Was that Advanced Warfare?
Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
Which, by the way, okay, random. I'm glad you brought that up. Why is it that Advanced Warfare, if you go back, I played this game more than you guys did. If you go back and look at the customization options from outfits to exosuits to all these different things to gun camos and stuff, I mean, you could be a Spartan, a clown, a soldier, a football. Like the customization in terms of the apparel and the outfits and stuff was so far ahead of already where the current games are. It makes no sense to me.
Like Fortnite and as far as cosmetics?
Yes, but they had serious stuff too. So like, I don't understand how we've gone backwards. It's the same thing as if you go back and look at like the ranked play, which we can compare ranked play to the score-based matchmaking too. That's a whole nother discussion.
Oh my God, can of worms right there.
But I mean, the ranked play in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 was good.
Yeah.
And every game since then has gotten worse. And it makes no sense to me.
So, Advanced Warfare was Sledgehammer's first game, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Raven? Was it Raven? Raven Studios? Or it was Raven or Sledgehammer?
I know it was Sledgehammer because it's mainly been Treyarch and Infinity Ward, and then Sledgehammer had two. They had Advanced Warfare and one other one. I don't remember what the other one was. So I think that might have, whichever studio it was. I know it wasn't. Are you doing the research, Drew?
Yeah.
My dude. I know, or at least I'm pretty sure it was a different one. So that might have been part of it.
It's you talking about Activision and Sledgehammer? It's Sledgehammer Games, Raven, and High Moon.
It was Raven.
Okay, my bad. Well,
and
we were both right, I guess. Yeah, we were both right.
Yeah. No, I just remembered Raven because that was their first Call of Duty title. I think they were a part of. I think Sledgehammer and Raven, like one of them did campaign and one did multiplayer or something like that. I think.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But I do think that, having like a fresh, taking the core, they kind of took the core of the game. Obviously, I didn't like the jump pack, stuff like that. We've already been over that. But having like a third party or like a fresh opinion on something can make a huge difference. Whereas like Treyarch and Infinity Ward going back and forth, like, can potentially get stale because they've been in it for so long now. I don't know. It just I watched a YouTube video of a guy the other day going back through the worst to best Call of Duties in order, and he had, which I actually agreed with his top three entirely, maybe in a different order, but he had Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, and I want to say Black Ops 2 were his top three.
Black Ops 2 is a very good game. Yeah,
I think that was his. He had Modern Warfare 2, then Black Ops 2, then Black Ops 1 is number 3. But anyway, his worst, he was one of the sorry, my point I was trying to get to was that the one that he had is the worst, which I would agree with, but was Call of Duty Ghosts. And his reasoning for why Ghosts was so bad was that he went back and played it. He went back through and played all the games trying to see, like, kind of reminisce and remember, like, oh yeah, this gun was good, I enjoyed doing this, all that sort of stuff. In Ghosts, he said you could sum the game up as basically maps that were way too big, kids camping in corners, and you had the ability to have overpowered explosive devices. Like, it wasn't a Claymore, but whatever the Claymore equivalent was. You couldn't even see it in the ground, so you just walk in and die. And then he showed a clip of him getting killed, like kill cams, over and over and over again. It was like 15 of them, of kids literally sitting in a head glitch, just waiting for him to walk around a line, like one line of sight for like 10 seconds and then kill him. Never had a shot. And the whole time I was watching this, I was like, that is Modern Warfare right now. That is that game.
And guess what? I don't think you guys played it. One of the best search and destroy Call of Duties was Call of Duty Ghost.
Weird.
And that was about the only thing it excelled at. But it was a great search game. But that was about it. The only COD that I think I would put definitely on the bottom of my list that was Infinite Warfare. That game was trash. That game was
I would have to.
I get that and Advanced Warfare mixed up.
Infinite Warfare was worse than Advanced Warfare, and it came out 2 years later. Basically, I think is the best way to summarize it.
Sick.
That game was terrible.
Oh, wait, actually, I do remember that one. That was one. Didn't that one have a lot of like really weird, bright and colorful
some, like,
maps?
Laser guns.
Oh, yeah.
Like energy weapons and stuff like that.
I'm out.
That was when they introduced Specialists. That was the first
I
game
hate I hate the Specialist crap too.
What's this? Yeah. I'm sorry, I have nothing to add to that. I don't remember a split thing about it except how much I did not like that game.
We've talked about this before too, about like the Specialists, which I'm glad they left out. But the whole idea, and like I said, I know we've had conversations about this explicitly because I think we all agree with this, is that the whole idea of rewarding someone for something, or basically rewarding someone for playing the game but not playing the game well, is frustrating to me. Because the stuff with the Specialists and like all these different abilities that you get that are essentially just on a timer. Now maybe there's ways to speed them up by getting more score, kills, whatever it is. But you're on a timer to get this overpowered ability. Why should somebody get rewarded for doing nothing? I cannot stand it when games do that. You should have to earn everything. And I want it to be difficult. I want there to be a learning curve. I want people to not have any of those abilities until they get better at the game. Not, throw people all this cool stuff when they're a level 3 and have died 20 straight times. It's like, I can't stand that. But so I'm glad they didn't have that in this game, but I would not be surprised to see it come back in the future.
What was the game? I can't remember which one. There was a game that I think we played on PC. It had like, you played like 10 games to get ranked before you could even play matchmaking with anybody.
It was Halo, actually, I thought.
Was it?
When you were like Diamond and Platinum and stuff like that? I think it was.
Maybe. but you had like an interim period, but therefore you got ranked and you played with people with the same skill set.
Drew, it was one of the Halos. I know for a fact because it might have been Halo 5. But
I don't know the shooter. I think it might have been Halo 5. I think that's actually. But League of Legends, you have to get to level 30 before you start playing ranked games. And then you play placement matches, and you get placed with people in your league, and then you have to win to rank up. And getting to level 30 is like a minimum of a 10 to 20 hour commitment.
God.
Like it's not like you play 2 games and get to level 30. Like you have to grind to get to 30 because they don't want people who have no freaking clue what they're doing playing in competitive matches.
Right.
That's the whole point. It's centered around competitive play.
Do y'all think that Modern Warfare could be fixed if there was a competitive playlist?
Yes, but I think it would. Yes, but with a caveat being that they give you a ranked playlist and take skill-based matchmaking out of public playlists, or the social playlist, because I think that we didn't even mention that. I don't think in the last episode, the skill-based matchmaking piece. I think that almost single-handedly could fix the game out of any issue we talked about, and the reason being, if I'm in a match with a bunch of, well, maybe a couple good kids that are better than me, but also some bad kids in the game, they might not even, if they are camping, I might be able to turn on them, but they probably just got home from school and are wandering around the map and are just walking around trying to shoot stuff, and they are not actively consciously trying to sit on head glitches. So I think that gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as you get better and you get to these more competitive playlists. I think ranked would be terrible to play, frankly. I hope they add it, but I'm not going to play it because the more competitive that game gets, the less you move. Or at least in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I think that's what I was getting at. Is like you want essentially, and I think I am in the same boat as you, and I probably Spencer can agree, is that they should have a ranked playlist where the people that like actually really care about the ranking stuff, the ones that do camp and all that, will go and migrate to, and that maybe there's a social playlist with less skill-based matchmaking to where, just because you're 155 or whatever doesn't mean that you get matched with 155.
Yeah, if you have a 0.5 KD or something.
They're doing the same thing right now in 2 different areas, and that's the issue. You want to play competitive if you have an interest in that aspect of things, that you can have that playlist with Dom, with Search, with Hardpoint, etc., and you can play those faster game modes or slower game modes depending on how you want to do it in a competitive atmosphere against players of your similar skill level, which is great. That's awesome. The issue is right now they're turning in your normal playlist into that same environment. And the problem with that is that if you turn skill-based matchmaking off, you are still going to have games where you get matched up against good players.
Yes.
It's not like that's impossible to happen. And you're going to have games where you're matched up against worse players. So it's going to balance out and give players, if they have one game where they get smacked or something, they can say, oh man, those kids are really good. I want to get better. Let me play against them again. Or they can leave and they have that choice. The issue is the choice is being completely taken away right now, and you're being force-fed something that you may not necessarily want to do.
And to piggyback off of that, one of the things that I think, when you have the skill-based matchmaking piece, so let's say it's basically a moving average, right, on how you are as a player. So let's say you're always playing to this moving average. So let's just say that like the net result of your games is always generally the same because you play well, you move up, play against harder people, you may do a little bit worse, you move back down, right? How can you really ever tell if you're getting any better? You have no rank to track anything. You're playing against, you don't know where your skill is compared to the rest of the world even. Like since there is no ranking system, you could be moving up and playing against really difficult competition, but you feel like, damn, I suck. Like, these kids are killing me. The whole concept to me is frustrating because like you have no idea of like really what your standing is and who you're playing against. Yeah. So even if you added in, if you kept it the same, but you had some sort of like skill-based ranking or emblem or something attached to your name, you could at least give you something to feel good about, to see yourself, oh, well, I got smacked that game, but I was playing against a bunch of really good kids.
Like Halo.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like Halo, playing a rank, but I'm a 48, I got smacked by the 50s. But at least I was playing with the 50s. I don't know. It's just the way it is right now is the worst case scenario. They need to do something with the matchmaking, and I don't know if they will, but Anyway.
I mean, I even a cameo with that, even if like with the Apex stuff. I mean, dude, like I remember playing and we would play. I think I was playing. I can't remember who I was playing with, but we played and we had a dude that had the fiery orange comp trail come down when he. It's like, oh, it's an Apex Predator. It's like,
That's
yeah,
sick.
you have to freaking be really good to be an Apex Predator. There's not, it's like whatever 8% of the top of the game or like hit that mark. And that's not just by you grinding the game and like getting XP to rank you up to 155.
Yeah,
You got to
actually
win
did some.
consistently against better competition.
Exactly. So like I think that yes, I think that the ranking system in Call of Duty has always been screwed up because it's always XP based. It's like, oh, dude, I can go and grab freaking 20 Tostinos things at the grocery store and get double XP points for a whole week and a half and hit over 150.
Dude, Tostitos.
You know what I mean?
Pizza rolls and Mountain Dew, bro.
But that's the thing. I mean, dude, there was a thing that Tostinos had to apologize to people because people would go into Walmart. No, people would go into Walmart and take pictures of the fucking code on the Tostinos pizza roll to get the double XP and not even buy the thing. And people would tweet at Tostinos and be like, "Dude, my code doesn't work." It's like there's kids that's all they wanted to do was grind to get to 155.
Dude, it's about that grind life, man.
There's no. The thing is, the skill-based matchmaking is not skill-based. It's either you have people that have massive XP boosts because of whatever mom went to Kroger and got them all the Tostinos in the freaking freezer, or like you have the kids that are garbage. And there's no way to tell who you're matched up against. Where with Halo, dude, I remember being a 49, and when I hit 50, I was ecstatic because I played against people that were 50s, and they're
Good for you that hit 50.
No, what? You didn't hit 50. Who backpacked you to 50?
I hope everybody can see that. Halo 2, baby. 40. I hit 50,
Okay, all right.
4 games at 50 and went right back down to 49. But I hit it. But that's the thing.
That's
Call of
pretty
Duty,
good, though. That's impressive.
There's no incentive for me to sit there and be like, I got to string kill streaks and I got to get on win streaks and all. To me, the new Modern Warfare now, it's just like, man, I'll drink and play with my buddies. Like, there's no incentive to me to want to be good or for this game to get any better. That's what I'm saying. But that's the point it's got to. I know y'all are laughing, but honestly, when we first played the first week, I was like, dude, this is going to be sick. Now it's like, man, the only reason I played is because there's nothing else to do right now. And now Halo's on. So goodbye, Call of Duty.
Wow, Drew, I did not realize that was going to be such a topic you're going to be so passionate about. You could write your thesis or your PhD on skill-based matchmaking.
Well, we can't all be 50s out here. Everyone's got a different.
I capped at 46 on Halo 3, so I'm not worthy.
That was only like 42. I don't know.
Well, I got backpacked to 46 by Davis Owen. That kid was a 50. We played doubles. You played at 25 kills. He'd be 21-4 playing against other 50s, and I'd be like 4-18. You know.
We won.
Yeah, be like, oh, good job, Alan. No, you had 4 kills that time. I'm like, Davis, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't want to
I
talk
had 4
about
rocket launcher kills, but it's fine.
Yeah. How many rockets does it have? 4. Yeah, that's how many kills I had.
Y'all can just be jealous that I had a Halo ring next to my name and you didn't.
Well, you know what? We're not.
Jealous.
No, I am. Yeah, I am. All jokes aside, you know what? We're not ranking up to 50s in.
Myself feel better.
You know what? We're not ranking up to 50s in anytime soon.
Halo Reach on PC. If I had to guess.
And we have a winner.
I'm sorry. I guess this is probably the perfect time to start transitioning to dude. I playing this now, just like an hour ago. I was like, dude, I used to could snap on people with the sniper rifle. I'm gonna get a sniper rifle. Pick up a sniper, try and snap on somebody with a mouse, and there goes my freaking cursor off the side of the freaking screen.
You know you got some work to do when you get ninja'd in the first game, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
Dude, I don't remember playing a PC game and having my left hand have so little clue what it was doing the entire time. I felt like it was not even attached to my body. It was just pressing like F4 and V and I mean, it was all over the place.
I grenaded myself, I think, 3 times in the first game.
Well, I went to go grenade, but I hit F like 4 times instead of G.
This brought me back to trying to figure out how to play Super Smash with everybody. I'm just freaking button mashing, but I happen to be jumping around in Halo instead.
Yeah, for some reason, button mashing doesn't work in Halo. I haven't figured out why yet.
Weird.
Keep
Me
trying
neither.
it. Keep trying it. It hasn't worked.
I will say I did enjoy it though. For the time that we did okay.
I'll keep playing it. I mean,
Oh, 100%.
This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be one of those things that instead of playing Call of Duty, I'm gonna be like, well, I'll play Halo and suck at it, but be okay with not being awesome at it. Because at least I'm battling people, and it's like I've just missed shots, not oh, he's sitting behind a corner and playing more than me.
That was my exact point when we got on Drew and played that like first game. Was that, you know, especially the very first game, like, because I never played Halo on PC, I was whiffing a ton of shots, but I was getting frustrated myself, but I was never frustrated with the game. I was never like, oh man, like this is so annoying to even play. I was just like, man, why am I missing so many shots?
Like, game. You're like, no, I'm literally just getting crap on right now.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was like, I could tell I'm like, overcompensating in this direction, or like, okay, well maybe I had to lead him more, or like something. But I was never frustrated with the game, and that was a nice feeling to have, and that's what I want to I want to experience when I play a game, whether I'm good or bad at it. Is like, okay, the game's fair. I just need to get better.
The one nice part too about Halo coming out and us having something, at least, you know, if we're trying to be on us to try and learn something new, is that, you know, try hours and, you know, we're frustrated with, or
hey Spencer, I hate to do it. Can you repeat that? You completely cut out again.
Yeah, you did.
Brett. All right.
Drew's gonna have fun editing this one because side note, Drew, because you're cutting this whole clip out anyway, bro. You've dropped like 19 f-bombs. You're gonna have to go back and edit yourself.
That's fine with me. I'm the one doing it.
Right,
fuck.
Dude, there's one point I just put my head down.
When you're going on your rant, and you're like, oh, I'm fucking this and fucking that, and bitch, fuck shit. I was like,
great. Now I'm gonna have to mute you too.
This whole clip's getting edited out.
No, you need to like cut the clip.
All right, and yeah, we're not muting that. You need to cut that out. You need to cut the fat. All right, and go.
No, the one nice thing about having Halo is that we can play COD for a little bit. If we get frustrated, we get on Halo. You know,
yeah,
you
very
can
true.
go back and forth. You got two things to play.
No, oh, go ahead, Drew. Sorry.
I will say though, playing, because I think we all downloaded it tonight. I think we all put probably 30 minutes into it just so it wanted to get. I think it dropped to 6th, I believe. But you know, we all put a little bit of time into it. I will say this brought me back to trying to figure out how to play PUBG. And it made me remember, like, you know, at first it's like the grind of figuring out the controls and figuring out like the best place to be and mouse movement and stuff. When I play Xbox games, I expect that I should be at least somewhat okay at them because I grew up playing them on Xbox. It's the same with. This is like, I think the argument that we have with Modern Warfare so much is that we were used to be pretty freaking good at all these games, and now it's like, okay, what the heck? They broke everything. I think now since Halo has migrated to PC, it's like I understand the game, but like I can't get mad at it. The only reason I'm not performing well is because I'm like retraining myself to play differently.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, it's I think that's one of the rewarding things about PC is like, you know, getting. Since we all grew up playing Xbox, you know, like getting on PC and having that moment where everything starts really flowing. And I mean, because I do think at the end of the day, your aim is gonna, once you actually spend that time, the peak of your aim will always be better on PC than Xbox. I mean, I don't see any scenario. Yeah, you 100% do. You have way more control. So when you get to that point where you can really just, everything's clicking, you put those hours in and you're snapping on people like it's second nature with a mouse is extremely rewarding. And I mean, after logging 1,200 hours in PUBG, which is pathetic to even say, but like, you know, so I mean, it got to the point where I was really, when I was playing all the time, I mean, went from when you started playing that game, getting destroyed all the time, maybe getting 1 or 2 kills and feeling good about it. And then at the end of the day, like, you know, we expect to win every game after we've played for a while. We expect to win every game, and we're like essentially kind of competing for kills again and like trying to, you know, see, oh man, we had 30 or we had 40 combined team kills. Like we killed almost half the map. That's awesome. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it went from you know, me playing with y'all, and I guess I can beat up on myself because it is me, but I remember me playing with y'all and being like,
no, dude, you're 50.
Like, what? in PUBG, I remember playing with y'all and being like, guys, can I move? Can I come out? Like, am I gonna die? Can y'all cover me? To like it being like, oh dang, Drew, like you pushed that guy, wow, like, and that was the kind of thing. It's like with these, that's why I think I'm gonna be able to be like spending more time in Halo, just because of it being a refreshing move from, okay, I was a 50 in Halo 2 and 10-15 years ago to moving to playing to playing it on PC.
What's a sick brag?
But going to playing it on PC and it being a brand new animal, like you know, I'm sitting there like, I can't get mad at the fact that I didn't hit that guy. It's because I just didn't hit the guy. Like,
it's something cool though with Halo, especially, you know how rewarding a PC game can be, and you know how solid Halo is as games. You know where you're kind of going, which I think is something potentially that's going to be really, really cool, depending on how everything plays out.
Do y'all feel like this is going to be one of the games that you could dump a couple hundred hours into over something like a Call of Duty or something like that?
I would say the possibility is there. Will I? Depends on whether or not other games come out that I want to play. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get the hours in playing something with you guys. So it's less about whether I think the game is good enough for me to want to spend that much time on. It's more about just if we have other alternatives come out that we decide we want to dump other time into as well. But yes, as a whole, I would love to spend a couple hundred hours getting good at Halo on PC, because I would like to just get back to being good at FPS games on PC. I think they're very, like I was saying before, more rewarding to be good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like
we got to think about too that, sorry to kind of cut you off by this statement, but after a year from now, with the new Xbox and new console, everything changes. You have no idea. We don't know. So,
I think the 343 has planned it kind of well with how they're decided to drop all the new Halos.
I agree.
They're gonna. I think Spencer said something about this earlier to Alan or something. What's the drop interval?
I think they're planning on kind of pacing out all the multiplayers over the next year, leading up to Halo Infinite, Xbox Scarlet, like the new Xboxes. So it kind of to build this hype while also giving PC players a first-time experience for Halo, which I think is.
Oh, Spence, the last part of what you said cut out.
Okay.
Oh, nothing? Okay, yeah, sure.
Well,
no repeat.
This kind of goes to the other thing about that though. Since they are doing this with PC and everything, does that make you say, okay, well, I'm gonna definitely get? I enjoyed Halo so much, I'm gonna get Scarlet just so I can play Halo Infinity, or no?
Are they coming out with, my first question to that, are they coming out with Halo Infinite or Infinity, whatever it is, on PC, or is it just the new Xbox?
I would say no. I think it's Xbox.
I think it's just Xbox.
It's Xbox's
if they know
release for Scarlet.
If they're smart, they should only release it on Xbox, because I was just gonna say if they release it on PC, that seals the deal for me getting a PlayStation, because that's the only game I want on Xbox that they carry.
I saw that Microsoft released is that they are gonna potentially release 2 versions of the new Xbox, just like the Xbox One S versus X, the slightly cheaper option, and the cheaper option would still be able to play up to 2K, and the other option would be able to play 4K. And so they're really actively trying to outprice and out option like the new PlayStation, which I think is
well, that's
awesome.
dope, because if I don't have a 4K monitor by the time of next Christmas, then I would get the 2K one. So
if I can play 2K on my monitor and spend $350 paying $500 and still be able to hold 2K 120 hertz, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
The money, that's a big deal.
No, it is. It matters a lot.
Well, I hate to say it, but to me, I have 2K monitors, but if I get that, if they can do 2K at 144 versus the smaller one being 2K at 60 or something like that.
I care about the frame rates.
4K. I think it's 2K at 1.
Whew.
Is the issue.
I got you.
I mean, I could be completely wrong here. It's just I know I read an article about like a cheaper option that would still be able to run 2K at a high frame rate.
If the frame rates are the same, and like I said, I don't have a 4K monitor, I'll roll with the 2K one. But if it were the case where the frame rate drops at the lower one, I actually do care about the frames more than I care about the actual definition. So, and like I said, I have a 2K monitor now. I don't plan on buying a 4K monitor by the next Christmas by any means. So, I would be more tempted to replace my old one with another 2K than I would to get a 4K.
Just double up on the 2K.
Yeah. So I mean, because this is and you'll obviously see this in a couple weeks, like a unbelievable improvement. I mean, the picture quality on this thing to me is like, it's the best I've ever seen, because nobody that I know.
Yeah, and part of the issue too, I know for both of us, like especially with where you're at with your PC, we can't play 4K games.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like that, my PC could probably play 2K at like medium to low settings. Your PC, There's no way you could touch 4K on yours, is there?
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pleasantly. I don't actually know what my thing can really handle, but the fact that I've played 3 games on here at 2K, 144 hertz, and had no issues is good enough. I'm very happy with that. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would have taken 144 at 1080 not too long ago. So the fact that it can do the 2K, I'm more than happy with.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great thing to get the pixel density and the refresh rate in both of it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. 3 years ago, there was no such thing. So,
What, Drew? What are your monitors again? I genuinely don't know.
2K at 144 and 2K at 165.
And with the ROG one's the 165.
Yeah, it's overclocked to 165.
So they're
But
basically
like I
the
said,
same.
I think we talked about it. I think we talked about it though. I still think that the non-ROG, the MG249Q, the Asus non-ROG monitor looks better than the ROG monitor.
That's crazy.
Like, it's nice to be able to hit 165, but I mean, I'm gonna have to get like a 2080 to be able to push that.
Well,
I was
can't do
about
that
to
with my
say, if you're not
1070
pushing
anymore.
it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
But and on top
It
of
was a
that,
good
like,
purchase 3 years ago when games hit 144 and that was it. But like, if you got it and nothing demanded anything higher than that.
but the same token though, like, are you really gonna notice 20 hertz? I mean, maybe, I don't know, but
I think 20 frames for what we're doing is at that level. I mean, obviously 40 to 60 or something. At that high already, I don't think
the
if you're a competitive Counter-Strike player or something, obviously, sure. But I don't know. For casual use, I don't.
well, obviously, the more frames you're pushing, obviously the ratio, like that 20 frames becomes less of an issue the higher you go, just because of
percentage based,
right?
yeah.
Percentage wise, so 10 to 20 is going to be, or 10 to 30 or something like that's going to be the biggest. But I think going from 60 hertz to 144 was a massive jump. I know, Drew, I think you're probably wanting to cite the video that you sent me at some point. Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
biggest jump was they say from the 60 to 144 is huge. 144 to 240 is like nothing.
Which is
I
crazy.
mean, you can kind of tell, but like it's marginal compared to the 60
That's
to 1.
the ratio again.
Like I said, I think it's one of those things that maybe on like a super high Counter-Strike player or something. Flexi, you can probably tell, but as a base like generic gameplay, I don't think this is.
Well, what I did think was really crazy was in the video that I was kind of joking around about that Drew sent me. There was so they had a couple of like pro level gamers and a couple like average to bad players essentially. So Shroud, they had him, who obviously everyone knows is extremely good, could be a pro player, was a pro player. They had him on this, like, I guess it was like some famous Counter-Strike scenario on one map where with the sniper, the op, like there's like a crack in a doorway and you can see, it's like if you get there, I think it's like off spawn, people have to run past it. And if your reflexes are fast enough, like the second you see someone like flash across the door, you can shoot them. And so he was doing that on a 60 hertz monitor, and I think, I'm not kidding, I could be butchering the stats, but I think he had 30 tries at it and only hit him twice. And they boosted it up to like the 144 hertz monitor, and he hit like over 2/3 of them.
That's cool.
So it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty sweet.
It's interesting. I believe it though.
Which is just crazy how much of a difference that makes. But and another thing that I thought was interesting too, the actual pro player, is a pro Overwatch player. One of the things that they said to him was that when he first started out, he had a 60 hertz monitor, and his kind of point he was making was that it's like, yes, you get a competitive advantage from having the higher frame rate and everything, but it's actually, he didn't notice much of a jump from it when he switched, because, and maybe this was Shroud, but either way, he said he didn't notice that much of a difference when he switched because he had actually gotten used to where he had to aim on the 60 hertz monitor. So he actually got worse when he first started playing on. Yes, he was like leading shots because he got used to where they were actually at, as opposed to thinking about, oh, maybe my frames are low.
It's I went through the same. I remember when I was in college, I used to play COD all the time, and I had bad internet, and I always lagged, and I got used like pre-firing, like leading shots and all this. I was having such a bad internet connection that you, like you said, you kind of adapt your gameplay to fit it.
I did that back in the day when I used to play, when I first started playing Call of Duty, like I guess Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I played on my parents' big screen that they had, and at the time I think that was like 30 hertz big TV, like 65-inch something, whatever, but slow. And I never even knew there was a lag because that's all I'd known. And when I got, I think it was from my 17th or 18th birthday, I got a TV that could actually hit 240 frames. Now, obviously the Xbox wasn't hitting that, but it went from 30 to 60 at that point. I actually started playing and I was missing shots like crazy, and I couldn't figure it out for a while until I finally realized that I actually could just shoot straight at them now instead of leading them as much as I thought.
Foot in front of them. Yeah.
Right. So, kind of crazy.
But anyway, to kind of wrap things up, I know Halo with COD, with all these, potentially we've got some things that we're kind of worried about. I'll be interested to see, as this next week kind of goes on, with us playing a little more Halo and anything with Call of Duty update wise, with whether it's Vacant or Shipment coming out soon, hopefully, where things kind of go.
Yeah, I am as well. I think COD's going to be something that we check back in on probably throughout the whole year. Depending on what they do, we either won't touch it hardly ever again, or we might find ourselves with one snap of the fingers, one update, thinking it's a great game. That's obviously what I think we all hope for. But in its current state, I think I can speak for all of us and say we're kind of checked out on it to an extent.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know they mentioned too, I think that there are, I think maybe Drew, you said this to me, that they were thinking about, or you read somewhere, they were going to bring a BR mode into it. Of course, I'll check that out. It's not going to solely pull me back into the game for extended periods of time, but
we can hope. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Does anybody? So, random question, Drew. Do you have one? If not, I have something stupid we can talk about real fast as a random question.
I'm already intrigued. You got it.
Nah, I don't know. Are you sure you don't have one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got it.
All right.
I want to hear this random stupid one you got.
I just want to. Okay, it's not even a stupid question. It's just more of like an idea. What would you guys? How do you think, or do you think this would actually go over well and be successful, or do you think it would be a huge fail if, and I'm sure they won't ever do this, if Halo were to come out with a BR mode? Or even do you think it's possible? It might not be possible with how the weapon or the game functions right now, but
I think they could. I'm just trying to base okay, it's like, so do you go from playing like hardcore or whatever to where you have no shield to where you can pick up a shield and then you can pick up an overshield and then be cloaked? Like, it depends on I don't know. It's a hard thing to think because there's so many different aspects
variations between each game.
Shield buffs versus cloaking versus they have enough vehicles and stuff, but it's like, what vehicles do you put in? What vehicles don't you do? Do you put a Banshee in the freaking BR mode? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or maybe make it only Warhogs or something.
Duty's kind of. Yeah, obviously the Warthog would have to be in it, but do you put a Banshee in it? Do you put the big tanks in it?
Yeah, I can't see myself playing it. The skill gap in Halo is already so large, and add in the potential of discovering more shields or overshields, he was kind of mentioning. And I think one of the greatest things about Halo is the idea of team shotting and teamwork, and that's completely taken away. Now maybe a team BR, 4v, teams of 4, I can see that being more successful. But an individual lone wolf style BR, I don't know.
There'd be no solos. It'd be like an Apexy type of BR.
Yeah, because, think about Apex with level 3 armor on everything. That's the base health for Halo, essentially.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think it. I definitely don't think it would be uber successful, but I do think that actually, if depending on the way that they made it, could work. I just think they would have to be extremely selective with what they actually opted to put in, and they would have to really make a good map. It would have to be extremely well thought out, because I think you could very easily make it terrible. But I do, because of the existence of Apex being successful, I wouldn't be shocked if it actually worked. But
they'd have an audience. They would have people that would give it their shot if they wanted to try it. Like I said, I don't think it would be bad if you made it like a doubles or teams of 4 type of scenario.
Solo would suck.
I think a solo would really, really struggle.
Yeah, I agree. And I like I said, I think it just, again, looking at it kind of in the lens of Apex with all the shields and stuff, like that to me is kind of proof that like the heavy amounts of shields can actually work.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, they have to probably do some things to speed up. You know, you have to have sprint and a lot of things to help the movement speed. Just because
a lot of Halo players don't like.
Right, and I do think because, like you said, the skill gap is so high, it would be very not noob friendly at all. I mean, you'd be lucky if you're a first time player, you're never going to kill anyone.
If you play teams of 4, if you do teams of 4 in that, and you have a team of 4 good players, there's nothing the other team's going to be able to do.
I agree. I think they have 0 to little shot, but. Wait, is that Piggy?
Dude, that's the girl Navi.
Oh, Navi, my bad.
Just a little.
Always
seeking that attention.
Selfish. Oh, wait, was that really her?
That was Drew.
Oh. I swear I thought that was her. I was like, what?
That would be something she would do, though.
All right, well, I guess with that, we can wrap up the 3rd episode of Level Up. Honestly, since we're kind of all checked out a little bit on Call of Duty, I think maybe next week we'll try and explore some new topics. I don't know what those are going to be yet, but we have a few days to figure that out and try and, you know, explore Halo a little bit more, maybe see what COD's doing down the road. But honestly, might try and explore some new PC games that are on the rise, or maybe look at some gear, maybe some tech, something like that. But we've uploaded the first 2 episodes to iTunes and Spotify, just waiting for those to actually officially be on the sites now. So you can check us out on iTunes and Spotify at level_up_podcast. Just kidding. That's actually the Twitter and Instagram. That is not the pod. that is not at all the podcast. You can actually just search for the words. You don't have to do all the underscores.
Smooth outro. We've been doing this for a long time.
Sick. Like I've been doing it my whole life. Yes.
Below.
Thanks, Drew. Good save. Check the link in the description below, and don't listen to anything I just said. But if you could give us a like or a sub, that would help us out a ton, as we are brand new, trying to gain some steam. So if you like what you heard, keep tuning in, subscribe, like, and we will catch you guys again on the next one.
There you go.